Good evening, Fernwood. It is your overloaded overlord, and it's time for us to go head over heels with another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. We are watching episode 287 today from May 10th, 1977. The last couple of episodes have left me with some really intense feelings, so I feel like I'd be remiss if I let you watch this next episode without talking about them. We started yesterday's episode right on the heels of Friday's, with Tom caving into Vernon, Bales, and Tex's threats against Mary and Heather and saying to the court that he didn't remember what happened on the night of the murder. And immediately we cut to Mary, who is sitting with Dennis, and she's coping with the fact that Tom is going to be sent to prison for 20 years. Mary walks over to the witness chair, perhaps imagine what was going on in Tom's mind, and she knows that Tom was able to free himself, but chose not to, and wonders why. Dennis suggests that perhaps Tom was guilty, but Mary knows that isn't the case, and thinks that perhaps he blocked it out of his mind due to trauma. And she wonders what to do with her husband going away for so many years, and Dennis offers that he will be there for her. Over at the Haggar residence, Bigfoot-raised JD is trying to get outside, but the door is locked, and Loretta and Charlie seem sad that their boy can't go out and be happy, but they're also afraid of the risks of the outside world. They both notice that JD seems to be a little bit down or a little bit ill, and Charlie thinks that it's plain old homesickness. So they set to darken their living room so that they can have a bonfire made with candles, and they do their best to cheer up the little boy, but we can see that he longs to be outside in nature. And then finally we're back in Tom's cell, where Tex thanks him for not testifying against him in the GGG, and then promises that he's going to give Tom a little more time with Mary as a reward. Mary comes in to visit, and things are awkward at first, and Mary's still working through what happened in the court in her mind. She compares it to Perry Mason, where all of the evidence would come into play and the defense would win based on that. And Tom hides the truth from her and tells Mary that she wouldn't understand, and that she should be careful of Tex and Vernon. And Mary says that she wishes Tom had said that in court. Tex interrupts their conversation because Tom is about to be transferred, and he brings in folks to help transport him and others to say goodbye. Mary asks for just a few more moments before her husband is going to be sent off for 2 decades, and Tom hugs his family to him, and then Mary gives him a final embrace. Then the others offer Tom their presents. Merle gives Tom the key to the city, Grandpa gives him a checkerboard, and Vernon Bales gives him another GGG key. And Tom is resolved to go off to prison as Wanda interrupts and says that all of the evidence has not been heard in the court because she was present in the shack on the night that it was burned down. Everyone, the last couple of episodes really brought tears to my eyes. I don't know if I can handle a third day in a row, but I guess there's only one way to find out.
Mary Hartman! Mary
Hartman! Wanda, listen, it's sweet of you to try to help Tom and everything, but what would you be doing in Dewey's cabin?
Dewey found my diary in among some things that Texas had thrown out.
Idiot.
I didn't throw no diary away, I promise. I could be mistaken.
Wait, I don't understand what any of this has to do with anything.
Well, Merle, I was at Dewey's house when the fire was set.
You mean you know who killed Dewey and it wasn't Tom?
No, Mary, it wasn't Tom. Dewey was dead before Tom even got to the clearing.
Oh, excuse me, I have got to sit down. Orlean.
Miss Jeter, if the fire didn't kill Dewey, what exactly did?
I'm not a doctor, Sergeant.
But you are sure he was dead?
You're quite sure.
Oh, wait a minute here, Wanda. I mean, again, nice try on trying to help old Tom, but I mean, who in his right mind is going to believe that the man just dropped dead practically on cue for no apparent reason in the cabin there moments before the fire was set?
Actually, there was an apparent reason.
How did he die?
I'd like to think he was pleased to death.
You what?
I think I'll sit down.
You see, I guess the strain was just too much for his heart. He always did have a weak heart. It used to worry me.
Wanda, look, have you completely lost your mind?
You don't expect anybody to believe that, do you? What? The wife of the mayor having a liaison with an aging black janitor? That's preposterous.
Your attitude is awfully medieval.
Wanda.
Well, it's a nice try.
Yeah, thanks anyway, Wanda.
What, you mean that it's not true?
Yeah, I guess the case is closed here.
I have the proof of it right here in my diary.
Oh, you and a damn diary.
Dewey's real name was Drexel. Drexel Johnson.
Drexel Johnson? Wanda. Drexel Johnson, his name is in your diary. Isn't he the man you had sex with when you were Mrs. Rittenhouse? Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, Lord.
All of it's in here. Dewey, Drexel, and our years together. So you see, I know what I'm saying when I say that Tom Hartman is an innocent man.
Tom, I never doubted this except maybe twice. Oh, Wanda. Oh, Wanda, I just can't thank you enough. I mean, you have saved my husband 10 to 20 years in prison. Oh, Wanda. Oh, Wanda. What do we do for you? You want to sleep over?
Wanda, thanks.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Wanda, I'd like to have a couple of words with you when we get home.
It had occurred to me you might.
So why did you defend yourself at the hearing, sweetheart?
I thought it was because he was guilty, but, since he's not.
Okay, let me ask a couple of questions here, okay? Vernon and Texas, maybe you have a little bit to say about that, huh?
Take it, Vernon. Oh, shut up. Well, congratulations, Tom. Now you'll be able to go home to your wonderful wife and your wonderful daughter who love you so much.
That's right, that's so right. Whom you threatened to mangle if I got up at that witness stand and told the truth. And the truth is that these two idiots set fire to that house. And they knew that Dewey was in it. But they didn't know that he was dead. And they tried to set it up so it looked like I did it, right? Now that's the truth, right?
Humor him. Well, he may be innocent of murder, but he's emotionally unbalanced. Remember the psychiatrist report?
Wanda, do you happen to know who did set fire to Dewey's house?
All I saw was a shadowy figure coming toward me with a torch, and I think he had a shiny object on the top of his head.
Shiny like a badge, you mean, right?
He thought of everything. Oh, shut up! What I mean to say is I can't have Texas stand here and incriminate himself. He's very sweet, but he's not very bright. Someone lock him up.
Well, now, I can't stand here and take credit for all of this. I mean, you thought everything up.
But he's run mad. Someone restrain him.
Excuse me, Chief. There's something I've got to do.
Yeah, what's that?
Place you both under arrest for the attempted murder of Drexel Johnson. So if you'll come along with me.
Oh, come along with you. We're already in jail.
Tom, stay out of this police business. Now, if the rest of you will clear out, I'll take these two into custody.
Hell you will. You stand back. I'm gonna blow Vernon up.
Grenade! What's a grenade?
Who cares about Vernon anyways?
Yeah. Why can't you ever do anything right? Put that thing away before it goes off like your bomb at the plant.
They blew up the plant!
He's got you there, Vernon.
Oh,
Was Howie Freeze an accident, too?
Hell no, that was on purpose.
Shut up!
Chief, why don't you give me that?
You stay back, I'm gonna pull this pin, I swear it.
I think you're bluffing.
Oh, no, he's not bluffing. He's not capable of bluffing.
I think you're bluffing because you don't want to die.
Get down, man, get down.
So, let go of Vernon and give me that.
Why don't you do what he says, you idiot?
Say please.
Please.
Oh, pretty please with sugar on it. Pretty please with sugar. No! Now, I'm telling you, Copper, you take one more step, I'm gonna pull this pin and blow us all to smithereens.
Oh, my God. You pulled the pin.
Nah, I just want him to think that. Oh, let me out. Let me out, please. Help! Oh, Vernon. Vernon, help me put the pin back in this thing, will you?
Everybody, down on the floor. Cover your eyes. Cover your ears.
Get down.
You idiot.
So that's a grenade.
Mary, you all right? I don't think Vernon and Tex are with us anymore. Hey! Put you right there.
Oh, Tom. So what do you think? I mean, I didn't even have the toaster fixed or anything because I just wanted everything to be exactly the way you'd remember it. So can I get you anything? I mean, except some toast, of course, you know. Oh, Tom Hartman, I love you so much. Well, now that you see that everything's okay in the kitchen, you want to go up and check the bedroom to make sure everything's there just the way you remember it?
What, in the middle of the afternoon?
Well, I just thought, you know.
Hey, do you two want to be alone?
No,
Yes.
no.
Then I guess I'll just stand here in the doorway.
Fine. I just thought that surely a man first day out of jail, the first thing he'd want to do is go check out that bedroom. I just thought that might be... I'm sorry, Tom.
Well, that's okay. Sure, I'll do that. You know, just, hey, I just want to take a little minute to adjust and, say, get a cold beer. Hey, we'll enjoy the bedroom later. No, don't worry about it. That's,
Poor Wanda. I mean, it's really terrible when you think about it. I mean, say you keep a diary and you write all your little sordid romance, personal things in it. It's different, you know, to just have it in a diary, but to have it exposed in front of the whole town and in front of your husband and just... Boy, it must be awful there right now. You know what? We're lucky.
Hey, where's the beer?
Hey, honey.
What?
You forgot that when you went to jail, you were a reformed alcoholic. You remember that? Come on, have a Diet Pepsi. You'll enjoy the saccharin. Oh, Tom. I'm just so glad to have you here. I could just stare at you all day.
I guess I'll have them. Hey, wait, what?
Oh,
What's this?
that's Mom's new office. You see, she's working for Mayor Jeter now. I'm going inside.
Hey, it's true! Hey, Charlie!
Congratulations, Charlie! Now listen, you old jailbird. Is it really true that Wanda Jeter was messing around in the hay with old Dewey?
I heard that Texas and Vernon got blown to smithereens.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You know something? I want to say one thing. That Sergeant Foley made quite a hero out of himself. I mean, to stand up to Texas in the grenade, that takes guts.
Yeah,
huh?
either that or no brains. I mean, you know, making a grandstand play like that, he could have got us all blown up.
Yeah.
Charlie, would you mind like an awful lot if like Tom and I were alone right now?
Oh, come on, sweetheart. Hey, I want to hear the whole story.
Yeah, come on. We want to celebrate Tom's being a free man. Well, I tell you what. Why don't we all go down to the Capri Lounge, huh? We got to show this boy around town. Come on, Mary.
Okay, I'm sorry. I really don't. I just don't feel like it. You don't feel like it, do you, Tom?
Well, I mean, you know, I could, Yeah, I do, yeah. You know, it's my first day out, you know, I want to kind of stretch my free legs, you know. Hey, we'll be back soon.
Come on, Tom. Come on. We won't keep long, Mary. Come on.
It'll be all right, sweetheart.
Hi.
Dennis, hi.
You mind if I came in?
No.
I came by to congratulate Tom.
Oh, Tom. It's really Tom's day, isn't it? He's out celebrating. That's where he is. He's at the Capri Lounge. And just, with the men's talk, foul talk, dirty language, hitting each other on the back, stuff like that.
And he left you alone. He's probably just blowing off steam. Okay. Well, I better go, and I'll catch Tom later. Unless, of course, you have a Diet Pepsi.
No, I'm sorry, I don't. Oh, a Diet Pepsi. Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, it's really been a long time.
Yeah, it sure has, hasn't it? It's funny. It's been such a long time that I've practically forgotten everything that ever happened between us. Haven't you?
Almost everything.
Hey, where the hell are you going?
A nap? I just thought maybe I needed a nap. I'm just a little beat from all the excitement, You don't mind?
You didn't ask me if I minded before you slept with that there black janitor, that Dewey or Drexel or whatever you call him. You didn't ask me if I minded then, did you?
You don't really want that drink, do you?
Yeah, I want this drink. And I'm going to have as many drinks as it takes for me to forget the total humiliation you subjected us to today, Wanda. And will you please tell me what is the fascination you have for domestic help?
Okay. Merle, I went over to Dewey's place to get the diary, and it just happened.
Oh, I love that. Things just always just kind of happen to you, don't they, Wanda? And then you just happen to put them in your diary, and then they just happen to be read or recited to half the town of Fernwood, and then I just happen to be humiliated.
Merle, look, Dewey was an old friend of mine, and, look, I've known him years.
Wanda, stop that! What are you talking about, knowing? There's knowing and there's knowing. If you could do something like this, at least you could have had the decency to come out with it when Tom Hartman was arrested. And save poor Mary Hartman from all this heartbreak she suffered.
Just a minute.
Now, you wait just a minute. I'm going to call her right now, and you're going to apologize to her for this. Yeah, who's this? Sergeant Fuller. What the hell are you doing there?
Merle, you really take the cake. You are just incredible. Do you think that I would have even been at Dewey's place if you hadn't been panning around after Mary Hartman all this time?
What? Oh, I suppose now it's my fault, right?
Oh, no.
I'm to blame
It's my
here, right?
fault. No, it's my fault for getting involved in a situation that I couldn't talk my way out of. Unlike you at the brothel on our wedding night. Oh, boy, you just have a little more luck than I do, that's all.
Now, what about you and Lila?
What about you and Lila?
Well, what about...
Go ahead.
Well... about, well, how about...
This is incredible. Please don't get me started.
Wanda. Oh, my God, what a pair we are.
You know, my late husband might even have said that ours was a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I'd have to go along with that because, I don't know, I think the Lord knew that nobody else would have anything to do with either one of us.
You really are an incorrigible rogue. You know that, don't you?
Well, you're a feisty lady.
Thank you.
I don't think it's every woman that would, suffer the total humiliation, public, total, and come out laughing like you have today. No, I'm really beginning to like your style, Wanda Jeter.
Oh, well, thank you very much, sir. Oh, Merle. You know, there's one thing, though. I wouldn't worry about the public image thing. You know, Americans love a reform center. Now, that is the political lesson of the decade.
Hey, wait a minute here. You know what I feel like doing right now?
What?
Taking this here troublemaking little memoir book of yours that we laughingly call a diary, and just setting fire to the little book.
No, wait a minute.
Huh?
No, allow me.
What do you mean?
I'll just burn my past quick with a flick of my Bic, right?
Oh, bad one.
I know. I thought you'd like it. Well, come on. Come on.
What? Congratulations, Tom.
Thank you.
Now listen, tell us really what...
Hey, Martha.
Oh, Mac, hi.
Yeah.
Oh, Mac, George is here, so you better leave now and come back later.
What's going on between you and Mac?
What's going on between me and Mac?
What the hell are you talking about?
What am I talking about? I'm saying that Sherman tank there is aiming at a lady called Martha who happens to be my wife.
Mac and Mark? Come on, you gotta be kidding.
Does that look like I'm kidding?
Well, they're just talking. They're just talking. I thought Mac and Kathy were a thing.
Oh, hell, Tom, you've been in a can for weeks. What do you think is talking is grounds for divorce?
George, what I don't know is why don't you just do something about it, huh?
Oh, no. I'm not going to let her off that easy. Oh, no. I'm going to let her go and make a complete ass of herself. And then when she comes crawling back to me, that will teach her a lesson. But listen, hey, I want to lighten up the conversation a little bit. What happened after Vernon and Tex blew themselves to a million pieces?
I was free.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Texas and Vernon.
You believe what suckers we were, listening to them and getting sucked in by that GGG crap? They had my best friends, you guys, believing that I was a killer, right? And they had me so scared, I was ready to toss my whole life away.
I just hope the good Lord can forgive our stupidity this time.
Well, they had everybody twisted, and nobody really noticed.
Sometimes it's weird. You think you're grown up, and you know your own mind, and two smooth-talking guys like that come along, and first thing you know, they got you saying and doing things you never would have even thought of.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Hey, come on, drink up to no more problems, no more, huh?
No more problems.
All right.
All right. That's for me.
Oh, boy. That was good. A guy tends to take a cold beer for granted, like he does being free.
Well, Tom, don't forget that there's There's some problems when you're behind bars, but there's some problems when you're in bars, too, you know.
Hey, come on, will you? Hey, I'm relaxing,
I'm sorry.
Charlie. Come on, I just got out of jail, for God's sake. Are we celebrating or not? You betcha. You betcha. You betcha.
Well, that was some change. They took some very happy surprises and mixed them in with some really heartbreaking disappointment, at least for me. So we start right after yesterday's episode with Wanda having said that she was in the shack. And not only that, but we finally find out why Drexel Johnson was a name that was named several times over the course of the diary story, because she was there. I did mention yesterday that Wanda was familiar with Dewey, although she seemed to hide it when she was at the telethon. But Drexel Johnson is Dewey, which I never put together because I'm just a dummy. But in any case, I knew that they were familiar with each other in a way that she wasn't revealing. I just didn't connect that Dewey was Drexel, who was someone that she had had an affair with many times when she was Mayor Rittenhouse's wife, when she was Wanda Rittenhouse. This is a pretty momentous occasion because it means that Tex and Vernon completely reveal themselves, and this means that they're gone, that they have been literally blown up off screen. 1970s, you can't really show a person being blown up in the way that you could in later generations, but they're done. There's no more GGG. Tom is free, which is a mixed bag there, but wow, I just feel a giant weight lifted off of my back to hear all of their crimes admitted. I mean, they won't see justice. They died in an accident. However, Tom is getting justice. He's free. He had nothing to do with the crime. And that Wanda admitted that Drexel died in, well, she didn't say the word orgasm, but he was pleased to death. And everyone knows in the show what that means. Still a bit insulting to think how everyone describes Dewey as a janitor or as the help. It's pretty gross. I'm glad that Wanda really seemed to still have feelings for him. Apparently, Wanda will have sex with anyone that she's excited to be near. So, that's cool. But the good news is that Tom is free. The even better news is that we have no more GGG. We don't have Vernon Bales. We don't have Texas. They have been blown up. And then we get home with Tom and Mary, and here's where things start to feel painful, because Mary really loves Tom. While I have said that Tom loves Mary as well, there's a big disconnect here, and I don't know what that is. It might be entirely that Tom is now drinking again, and that he was craving a drink ever since he was in jail and Tex gave him that bottle. So that's the mixed bag of Tom being released from jail, but it feels really hard to see Mary be so in love and to see Tom not receive that love when he's there to receive it. He was willing to give up his freedom for Mary and Heather, and now that he's home, he just wants to drink? That doesn't make sense to me. And I know I'm not a substance abuser. I've never dealt with alcoholism. I don't barely even drink. But it doesn't make sense that Tom would get home and avoid. Maybe he is feeling guilt over Wanda and having slept with her. That's not something that I saw, but that was the only thing I could think of that would make him disconnect, other than he's just wanting a beer. And I'm not sure. I did mention that there would be a reckoning when it came to Tom and Mary. When Tom got free, I expected Tom to get free. I just didn't know it was going to happen today. But that when Tom became free, that there would be a reckoning in his and Mary's relationship, in their marriage, that Tom slept with Wanda. That's a big deal. It's not something that gets addressed here, though, so I don't know. But Charlie and George take Tom off, and then that's when Dennis comes in. And, Heather's in the scene too, but she's kind of just there to make things awkward. But Dennis shows up. He's doing his predator thing. He sees a little bird who's feeling pain and kind of swoops in. And then, speaking of a reckoning, we have Merle and Wanda, who really just, they let loose at each other here. Like, they just let everything that they've been holding on to just fly at their partner, which is pretty funny considering where the scene ends. But Merle brings up Drexel Johnson and Lila and compares them both as the help, which, as I mentioned, is pretty gross to think of them that way. It's also a little bit gross to have that sort of class imbalance, like Wanda. Maybe it's just a coincidence that the writers picked up on, but that Wanda tends to sleep with people. Well, we know that she sleeps with whoever she feels like, but also that she sleeps with people that she has hired. I don't know if Drexel was hired by Wanda. I don't know that that's the case. I don't know how they met. But like I said, this is where things come to a head. They yell, and then they realize exactly how alike they are. So this, I think, is the most I've liked them together, is when they finally like each other, when they realize how awful they both are. And then Merle says, no, we're going to take that diary and we're going to destroy it. And Wanda says, no, because let me do it. I was wondering if her tryst with Tom was mentioned in the diary, and probably better that this thing is just destroyed, because it has played a pretty major part in unbalancing their lives. This episode today is really two major storylines coming to a head, and I don't know exactly what that means for future episodes. The rest of this series, we're just about 8.5 weeks away from the end, or 7.5 weeks away from the end, because I can do math, and things are really different than they have been. So Wanda and Merle no longer fighting, and I don't know what that means for them. What's going to be next for them? Wanda and Merle are on the same page finally. Tom and Mary, Tom's out of jail and the GGG are gone. So it's clear in the next scene what that means for Tom, but I'm not sure what it means for Mary. And then in the next scene at the Capri Lounge, we see the other relationships addressed. We don't see Kathy there, but we know what's going on as George and Charlie catch Tom up to what's been going on while he's in jail. But Martha and Mac are still together, and George is still angry about it. So that's status quo there. We don't hear about Charlie and Loretta and JD, so that's going to be an ongoing thing. But the real bad news is that Tom is drinking again. And he's not even going to try to recover from it at this point. We don't know where anyone works now. I mean, perhaps the factory is there, we just don't have Vernon Bales. Someone's going to fill that hole, perhaps. But the factory is still there. I don't know what that means. I don't know where anyone's going to lay, and I'm really excited to find out what's up. So, thank you so much for watching with me. Thank you so much for leaving your thoughts, feelings, and impressions down in the comments. Thank you for going head over heels, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.